le ciel bleu vole dans silence.
Can this item be saved? Can I still wear this piece in my closet? Is this out of style? Is it hopeless? Or can I restyle it and make it modern? If you've ever had these questions, stay tuned. This is the video for you. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Netta. I'm a personal stylist, and my whole focus is helping women just like you, women over 50, look and feel beautiful and confident in their style every single day. I want it to be easy. I want it to be effortless, and I want you to feel beautiful every day. I feel like we deserve that. So I'm gonna pop up my handy dandy graphic here that I created, nothing fancy, but it's going to illustrate the 3 pillars that I think are fundamental to style over 50, honestly at any age, but especially over 50. So these are, do I love it? Does it love me back? And is it modern? I do not think any of these are optional. I do not think any of these are optional. And you're going to hear a lot out there from people who are like, wear what you love. As long as you love it, you can wear it. Or wear what flatters you and looks amazing on you. Yes, those are absolutely important, but if we're missing that 3rd point on the pyramid, we're never gonna look and feel our best. So that's the hill I'm gonna die on. That is what I believe, and if you believe that as well, this is your place. Again, a lot of people don't believe all 3 of them, think one of them is optional. None of them is optional if you wanna look and feel your best. Okay, let's get into it because I have a lot to cover today. In the last couple of weeks, I've been covering items that a lot of women think are timeless, but are actually dated. And so some of the feedback that I got about those videos is, well, how can I restyle this? I love this piece. I find this to be the most flattering cut. And you're saying it's out of style. How can I work with it? How can I restyle it? Can I update it? And the answer is sometimes. So let's talk about the items that are easiest to update. So, you know my mantra of details date. If you have not been following me for a while, this might be the first time you've heard it, but details date. The simpler an item is, the more likely it is to have longevity and to be easy to style and to be easy to update later on. So the more detailed, the more stuff going on an item, the less likely you are to be able to restyle it and update it. So that's why I can't do anything about the jeans with the crazy, like, thick white top stitching and the blingy pockets, but I can help you restyle the khaki pants. That's just an example, and I'm going to be showing you how in today's video. Clothes are usually dated one of 2 ways. This is the second point. They're usually dated in either fit or details. Again, details are going to be harder to update and to modernize. Fit issues or fit, like if the fit is off, if the fit is dated, that can often be addressed in the way that you style it. If you have favorites that can't be restyled or updated, I would suggest archiving them. But you only do that with your favorites. You're if you're like, these are the best jeans and they made me look amazing, but I know they're really, really out of style, those should be archived. If you're like, these are pretty good jeans, those should not be archived, right? Because there's a fine line between collecting, which I love to do, and I archive a lot of my favorites, and hoarding. Like, we don't want to just store everything. We want to be really selective about what we're holding on to. Finally, when you're looking at updating dated pieces in your wardrobe, use the rule of balance, use the rule of opposites. So the rule of opposites really is something that has kind of governed modern style and has been a hallmark of modern style for the last several years. And that's adding an opposite element to whatever it is you're wearing. So if an item is fitted, consider adding it with something flowy or something a little bit more oversized. If an item is dressy, consider pairing it with something more casual. If it's, potentially on the more dated side, pair it with something really, really modern. This is how you add balance and use the rule of opposites to update your current outfits or to update your previous favorites and turn them into current outfits. So you have to pull out your most modern accessories when you are styling potentially or slightly or borderline or really dated pieces. Like, in order to bring them into 2025, you have to throw all of the modernness at it. And one of the ways to do that is to pair that item with something that is opposite to it. So I'm going to show you how we do that when I style these pieces. Okay, let's first of all talk about the pieces that I think you should consider archiving if they are your favorites. If these are go-tos for you, if you absolutely have loved them, if they fit you beautifully and there's something about them that you love, these are pieces you can consider storing. That includes the bootcut jeans with the heavy top stitching. Who knows? They may be back. Those should be archived if your favorite pair or 2. The round toe block heel pump, those could be archived. The aggressively round toe flat, those should be archived. The waterfall cardigan, that should be archived. Those might come back. The tight blazer, that should be archived. The infinity scarf, that should be archived. These are pieces that are going to potentially come back. They're going to potentially come back. The basic fleece jacket, that should also be archived. Well, I don't even know if the basic fleece jacket should be archived. Let's just say that it's an athleisure or a hiking piece and not a style piece. Okay, so maybe that doesn't need to be archived. The last piece that I think need to be archived are the cork or patent wedges that I talked about, especially the peep toe cork or peep toe patent wedges. Those should be archived. Now let's talk about the pieces that I think you should consider eliminating from your wardrobe entirely. These are pieces that I believe should be purged in 2025. I do not believe they're going to come back in style, and for various reasons, I think that you should let go of these. The first is colored skinny jeans. I'm not talking about colored jeans in a straight or wide leg. I'm talking about specifically the skin tight jeans in a rainbow of colors. Those should be purged. If they come back, they are not going to look like this at all. I don't really see this trend coming back in the same way. Embellished tops and jackets that were dated to begin with, like these are the more mature, more matronly embellished tops and jackets that are sold primarily to mothers of the bride everywhere. They've got like the flowy layers with the random embellishments on them that do not look modern. These are pieces that should be purged because they were truly never in style to begin with. The same is true for the fabric purse. Like the Vera Bradley type bags. These should be purged because they were really never in style. They're a very specific aesthetic, and that aesthetic worn over 50 looks dated and looks potentially frumpy. So definitely encourage you, if you've got a lot of those patterned paisley or floral purses from like brands like Vera Bradley, I would encourage you to purge those. Another thing I think you should purge is the Empire waist jersey dress or Empire waist jersey dress. Yeah, you could possibly restyle this with like maybe throwing a sweater over the top so that you don't see the different I don't know. But these are flimsy. The quality isn't good. I do not think they're worth archiving. And if they do come back, they're not going to come back looking the same. The short sleeve blouse with a Peter Pan collar really can't help you there. I wish I could show you a more modern way to pull this off over 50, but I feel like we're always going to look cutesy in this over 50, and I like to look cute, but I don't like to look cutesy. So I feel like those should definitely be purged. Okay, let's talk about the items that I think we can actually restyle in 2025 so that they look more modern. I'm going to give you this list, and then I'm going to break down my styling strategies for each of these items. So the first is the dated khaki man pants, the long cardigan, the orthopedic sneaker, the big chunky sneaker, the white kind of dad sneaker style, the black sheath dress, the classically tied silk scarf, the tight denim jacket, the infinity scarf, the too tight button down shirt, and the too short trench. I would also say, in the same way that I'm going to style the too tight button down shirt and the too tight denim jacket, you could also put the too tight like classic blazer, black blazer or whatever in that category, because you can style that in a similar way. Okay, so let me start with the man pants, the khaki pants. These are the pants that, let me describe what they look like and the outfits that they showed up in 2015, right? These are all circa 2015 outfits. The old khaki pants were tight or a little baggy and stiff. Usually made of a stiff cotton twill. They were low rise. If they were not stiff cotton twill, they were very stretchy. They were low rise. They usually were ankle or shin length and usually hugged you at the ankle or the shin. They were often worn with a belt, a shirt tucked into the low rise, which is just a big no. We do not tuck into a low rise, but that was what we did back then. Usually it's a snug button down or a tee tucked into these low rise khaki pants, worn with a snug jacket like a fitted blazer or a long cardigan, often worn with platform pumps or round toe scrunched ballet flats or booties. And the khaki itself was often a pale khaki, like a washed out khaki or a yellowish khaki. Now let's talk about the 2025 version of a khaki pant. So we're looking at a mid to high rise pant, a relaxed fit with soft tailoring, straight to wide leg. If you are not a wide leg fan, you can do a straight leg. And I'm going to talk about timeless pieces in my next video, and straight leg is on that list. Sometimes with pleats, but not always, you can do a flat front. Ankle length if you want, but not hugging at the ankle, or a wide leg, you know, and then it's going to be wider at the ankle, or a full length, right? Cotton linen blend, or a drapey blend, a drapey fabric blend, maybe a brushed twill that is a little softer. The color is richer, rich camel or olive, or a tobacco color, or a richer khaki. And they're often worn obviously with modern classic pieces, like a pair of classic ballet flats, a pair of loafers, sneakers, kitten heels, maybe with a modern structured blazer, a modern blouse or tee. That's going to be what's going to comprise the khaki pant look of 2025. Okay, so let's talk about if you've got the 2015 too light colored, tight, low rise khaki man pants. Let's talk about how we can restyle them in 2025. So the first way, what makes these dated to begin with? So we know that it's the fit, and then it's the fact that they're not feminine. So those are two things that really make those pants very 2015. I've already described them as the man pants, so we know that they're not feminine, and we also know that the fit is off. So the first thing we're going to do to modernize them is we're going to address the fit. These are tight, so you're not going to pair them with anything else that's tight. You're going to pair them with something that's looser. So if they're tight, you add something loose. That's just a cardinal rule. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can style this. First of all, try a white or blue and white striped button-down cotton shirt worn tucked in and bloused over so that you do not see the low rise of these pants. So you want to hide the waistband of the pants. You're going to add a pair of loafers or sneakers or ballet flats and a blazer that is modern, slightly oversized, because you're trying to balance the fittedness of the pants. Outfit option number 2 to update your khaki pants is add a silky blouse, again bloused over because you want to tuck it in, but you do not want to see the waistband of the pants. Alternatively, with both the button-down shirt and the silky blouse, you can wear one that is at the waist or hip length and covers the waistband without tucking. So if you've got a cropped version, that would work as well. You want to add a pair of loafers, sneakers, or ballet flats, and again, an oversized blazer or jacket with the silky blouse. Because again, you're trying to balance out the fittedness with something a little bit slouchier. It doesn't have to be oversized, but it does need to be proportionally bigger than the pants. The next option is to add a half zip sweater as we go into fall winter. Again, that's going to be a little bit of a slouchier sweater, so it's going to balance the fittedness of the pants. Try it with a crossbody bag, a baseball cap, and a cool pair of sneakers, maybe in a retro color or like one of the cool new retro sneakers. So that's another look that you can do to update your khaki pants. Now, because it's a man pant, other options that we can do is to add some femininity to it. So we added flowiness to the fitted pants in the first strategy. The second strategy is to add femininity to this masculine styled pant. So the first way to do this is to add a flowy, feminine printed boho-y blouse, something feminine, something soft. Add a pair of really feminine shoes, maybe a pretty pair of flat sandals, again a pair of ballet flats or a pair of espadrilles. Add a straw bag, and then you've taken this this pair of pants into 2025. Another way to do this is to make it a little bit more classically feminine. Add a lady jacket, maybe a striped lady jacket would be beautiful with this. Add some pearls, add a pair of kitten heeled pumps. Again, you're really leaning into the femininity and away from the man pant aspect of this style. Another way to style these pants is to add a flowy silky blouse, unbuttoned to show like some really pretty feminine necklaces, do a strappy heeled sandal, and add a clutch and kind of glam it up for evening. So those are 3 ways to add femininity to the khaki man pant. Okay, now let's talk about updating a long cardigan. So why is a long cardigan not in style? Well, it's slouchy and shapeless. That's one of the downsides of this long cardigan that we're not really seeing in style right now. And it's also dated. So I'm going to show you how to add structure to the slouchiness and how to modernize the dated aspects of it. So let's start by adding shape. So it's slouchy, it's shapeless, it's not flattering. Let's add shape to this cardigan, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways. So the first way is to consider belting it, buttoning it up and belting it with a statement belt. Or if it doesn't button, like folding it over, like wrapping it in front and adding a statement belt. Try this with a straight leg pair of jeans or a cigarette pair of pants, like cigarette pants, or like your most slimmest pair of jeans or pants that are not skinny, because skinny is not a thing, but like a cigarette pant or straight leg pant, maybe a slim straight. Add really modern accessories, and that's a really cool way of wearing this cardigan. Another way of wearing this cardigan is to button it up all the way and wear it as a dress. Again, depending on the length, if it's shorter, you can wear it unbelted. If it's longer, you might want to break out that statement belt again and consider wearing it as a dress. Now, if you feel like it's a little too low in the front, which can often happen with these cardigans, to wear as a dress, obviously you can layer a tank or a bodysuit underneath it, but you can also turn it around and wear it as a dress with the V in the back. I have seen this a couple of times on Pinterest and everything, and I think it looks really cool. Definitely a different look, but if you're willing to experiment, you can play with this and really have fun with it. I would add a pair of patterned or opaque tights. Patterned tights are really having a moment right now. Maybe a tight with some texture, or a tight with pattern, or a tight with color, and a pair of boots, taking it into fall. I think that would look really, really cool. Okay, now let's address the out of style aspect of the long slouchy cardigan. So if we want to modernize it, one of the ways to modernize it is adding it as the outer layer in an otherwise really modern and monochromatic outfit. So for example, if you've got a black cardigan, wear it open and loose and just like undone over, for example, a pair of black linen pants and a black linen tank. That would be like a really easy way, and you just throw the cardigan on over the top, and it just kind of plays a supporting role and doesn't really stand out that much in the outfit. Keep the accessories super modern in all of these. When you're wearing these potentially dated pieces, your accessories need to look like you just bought them last month. I don't know how else to put that, but like the most modern accessories. Now, another way to modernize this cardigan is to throw it on over the jean shorts of the moment, which are the mid-thigh jean shorts. And I'm really thinking about like a linen or lighter weight cotton cardigan, because obviously you're not going to wear denim shorts in the winter, but like a denim short with a long cardigan worn. So it's that long over short silhouette. You could also do a shorter skirt with this, but wearing the cardigan long, wearing the shirt or the shorts mid-thigh, and then adding a tank or a tee underneath, of course. You can add flip-flops, which are a very modern way to style this, or a retro sneaker to this look, and I think that would be fabulous. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the black sheath dress. Why is the black sheath dress out of style? At least the ones that I described in the videos. They're tight and they're short. And then the fabrics are generally a little bit too basic and a little bit dated. So we're going to start by modernizing the fit. Now these dresses are tight and just a little bit too short and a little bit too like basic in their structure. So let's talk about like how we can take these into 2025. So in the same way that we did with the khaki pants, we're gonna add something looser to something tighter to update it. So strategy number one, add a loose layer. So an oversized coat worn again. So we're doing then long over short, just like we did with the cardigan. Long over short is a fabulous and modern way to layer. So add like a longer trench, like the classic trench that I've been talking about. Add that over your shorter dress. Add a pair of cap toe slingbacks, or a cool little kitten heel, and you've got a much more updated look because you're adding a slouchy layer on top of the tighter dress. You could also do this with a wool coat. If you've got a classic wool coat, like throw the wool coat over the top. As long as you keep it on, like that's a modern and updated way to layer that dress and to bring it into 2025. Okay, another way is to add a modern, slightly oversized blazer to the dress. You're doing the same thing, but with a blazer instead of a coat, and you're offsetting the tightness of the dress. And then the third strategy is to throw a cropped cardigan, one of the new waist-length cardigans or waist-length jackets over the top. That's going to update the look. If you button up the cardigan all the way, it's going to look like a sweater and skirt. That can be really cool. A cropped blazer, a cropped jacket that hits at the waist or slightly above the waist is another way to really elevate it and modernize it. So you're adding really modern layers with this dated dress, and it's bringing it into 2025. Okay, now how to take the dress away from being so basic. One of the ways you can do this is to layer something underneath this dress, because many of these are just like they're sleeveless and they're very, very simple. So one of the things we're seeing a lot still is the long sleeve mesh tees. These are so great for layering. and would work really, really well under a dress like this. So you just have the sleeve coming out. That would be an easy update. Another way is if you have a blouse that does fit under your dress, and generally these dresses are fitted, so the mesh tees are probably going to be easier. But if you have a sheer blouse or a blouse with sheer sleeves, especially a blouse with flowy sheer sleeves, and you put it under this dress, that would be fabulous. What a cool look. That would be such a cool look, and absolutely bring it into 2025. Another way is to layer a long sleeve button down, wear it open, or even wear it buttoned up over the top of this dress. That's an easy way to modernize it. Pair it with sneakers, like just a cool, effortless look. Another way to do this is to add a linen jacket, maybe a slightly slouchier linen jacket, linen blazer over the top, and add a pair of flip-flops. Flip-flops are absolutely having a moment, and we're going to see them continue as like kitten-heeled sandals into fall, and it's just an easy way to update this look. Finally, I would say you could throw the new statement tights that we're seeing everywhere, colors, patterns, texture, with this dress and that long coat. 10 out of 10. You brought that coat, or you brought that dress into 2025 if you do that. Okay, let's talk about the uber chunky orthopedic sneaker. I'm gonna group the dad sneaker, just the general chunky sneakers that have been trending for the last few years, in this category, and kind of show you how to style a chunky sneaker, because right now we're seeing a sleeker sneaker. We're seeing like a ballet flat sneaker hybrid. We're seeing like more streamlined retro looking sneakers. We're not seeing the chunky sneaker look anymore. So if you want to modernize these, you need to wear them with something that is chunky as well, because you want to balance. This is kind of the opposite of what I said about the other things. You don't want the chunkiness of the shoes to stand out. You want them to look like they're proportional to your outfit. So you're going to pair them with a pair of chunky, like your wide leg, your baggy jeans, your wide leg jeans, your barrel leg jeans if you've got those, your flowiest maxi skirt or maxi dress where you don't see the sneaker as much and the sneaker does not really look out of proportion with the outfit. So that's really the easiest way to do that. Another way to kind of update that chunky sneaker is with workout clothes. Wearing it as just like a workout sneaker. If you wear a sleek workout outfit like leggings and a workout top or a tank or something, add like a longer oversized jacket over the top, maybe a chore jacket or a linen jacket, or a long kind of workout style jacket, and then add those chunky sneakers. That will be kind of a modern way to look at it, or to style that. Okay, next I want to talk about the classically tied silk scarf. This is an easy one because rather than tying it in a classic way, you're going to tie it in a modern way. So I'm going to pop up a couple of ways here that scarves are styled in a classic way. And again, this is really a matter of degrees. The more and more classic that you get, the more potentially frumpy we can look. So if you're if you're wearing a classic scarf in a classic way, but you're wearing it with a really modern outfit, that can work. So it's really a matter of degrees. But if you feel like you just want to play with the way that you style your scarf so that it feels very 2025, and you've got classic style and you've got some classic scarves, I'm gonna pop up a couple of the cool ways to wear a scarf in 2025. I'm actually really loving the scarves as tops under jackets. I know it sounds a lot, but it really works, and you can actually have almost a full coverage top under, especially worn underneath a blazer. I love that look. Of course, I love them worn the triangle way over the waist, around the waist as a belt alternative. We're seeing that a lot for fall 2025 into 2026, and I think that's one of the most exciting ways to kind of wear your scarves right now. And of course, continue to wear them in your hair, on your bag, on your wrist, wherever you can put them. They are a major trend. And then looping them just casually around your neck, major trend for fall. Okay, let's talk about the too tight denim jacket. I'm gonna pair the too tight denim jacket and the too tight blazer together. I'll put them in this look, even though I told you that the too tight blazer is something that you should consider archiving. If you do want to style it, you can style it the same way that you style the too tight denim jacket, sort of. So I'm gonna pop up a picture here of me from Miss Press. I'm wearing a jacket from Gator, Florida that has like real gator on it. And this jacket is a size medium, but is very stretchy. I typically wear an extra small, and this jacket is is fitted on me. So I'm wearing it as a top. And so that's styling strategy number one, is to style your jackets as tops, and then it looks a little bit more modern. And then you're gonna balance them out with something flowy at the bottom. So straight leg or wide leg pant with a fitted top is an easy balanced look that's going to create those opposite elements that I'm talking about, that's gonna update that piece. So wearing it as a shirt with the two things that make it dated, a denim jacket, is the fit and the fabric. So and they go hand in hand because the fabric is stretchy, and we're not seeing stretchy fabrics in modern denim jackets. So wearing them like this really kind of plays them up as more like tops than jackets. Wearing it with a flowy maxi skirt, wide leg pants, or a cool pair of high-waisted straight pants. Easy way to update those favorite denim jackets if you love that fitted denim jacket look. Again, you can kind of do this with a blazer too. If your blazer buttons up, try buttoning up your blazer. Maybe a little harder with a blazer. But this you can definitely do with both. If you've got a fitted denim jacket or a fitted blazer, wear it over your shoulders with a modern dress. So just drape it on over your shoulders. Don't put your arms through it. I love that look. I feel like it just is a very, very cool look. Is it practical? No. But you know something? If your arms are tied up because you're wearing a jacket over your shoulders, someone else will do the dishes, and that's just like a win-win. Okay, another way that you can do it is to tie it around the waist over something flowy, something maybe a little shapeless, something that needs a little bit more structure, just like you would like a shirt or a cardigan. Tie your denim jacket, because these are fitted a little stretchy, they're a little easier to do that with. Again, a little harder to do with a blazer. I feel like a blazer is harder to style than the too tight denim jacket at this point. I'm really thinking you're just going to need to throw it over your shoulders and just call it a day. Another way to style these too tight jackets is to wear them with, like, hear me out, because this is very, very modern, but it's definitely not for everybody. If you feel like your tummy is your best area, then continue listening. If not, you're going to want to skip this tip, as I will skip this tip. If you've got a pair of lower rise linen pants, you can add this denim jacket over a pair of lower rise linen pants, pair it with a pair of flip-flops. That's a very, very cool modern kind of look, and a modern way to wear it. Again, you're balancing the fittedness with something flowy. Okay. Now let's talk about the too tight button-down shirt. And we're going to take some of the same strategies with a too tight button-down shirt as we did with a too tight denim jacket. You are going to add balance by adding volume, because the shirt is too tight, and so the pants need to be looser, or the skirt needs to be looser. So one of the ways I love wearing this, and one of the ways it works really well and shines, is wearing it as a layer underneath other pieces. So this can be the shirt that you wear underneath that too tight sheath, black sheath dress. This can work very well under a slouchy sweater, like a v-neck or a crew neck, and you just show the collar. Like, that's perfect, because it's not going to add a lot of bulk like a regular button-down shirt would. Another way to do this is to layer it under just a midi dress that you have. If you've got like a dress that you would like, maybe it's sleeveless and you would like to cover your arms with, layer it under a midi dress. One of the ways that you can cheat this is to do like some kind of stretchy layer on top of the shirt, if you want to keep the line and to keep the shirt down and keep it smooth underneath the dress, like a tube top style shapewear piece over the shirt, under the dress. If you want to try that, it looks really, really cool. Yes, it's a little extra. Yes, it's a bit of work, but it can really be worth it. Another way to wear this is to wear a sweater vest, or just one of the new tailored vests that are doubling as shirts. Wear that, especially a slouchier one or a looser one, over that tight shirt. That's instantly going to take it into 2025. Another way to wear it is to wear it tucked into high-rise jeans or pants with a wide leg. And then add a modern blazer or a modern sweater jacket over the top. So you're balancing out the fitted top. You're tucking it into a pair of wide leg pants or a pair of straight leg pants. And then you're adding a modern layering piece, like a modern blazer or a modern sweater blazer over the top. That's going to be a very instant, like easy, instant update. And then we're going to do the same thing with this as we did with the linen, with the denim jacket. We're going to pair it with a pair of loose linen pants and a pair of flip-flops. That's just an easy way to make that look very intentional and very modern for 2025. So that's it. I know I covered a lot. But those are the pieces that I consider workable, doable, updatable from my list of pieces that many of you have thought were timeless, and I feel are dated. So I hope that you find this helpful and that you enjoyed this video, and really, yes, a lot of pieces can be restyled. To recap, a lot of pieces can be restyled, a lot of pieces can be updated. Look for balance the dated aspect of that, like identify what it is about that item that makes it dated, and then counter it with something that is the opposite of it, that is going to give it a more modern look. And then finally, recognize the fact that some items should be archived, some should be purged, and some you should consider updating. And where that list is gonna break down is it dated because of fit, or is it dated because of details? If it's dated because of fit, you can often update it. If it's dated because of details, you might want to consider purging it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe so we can hang out some more. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.